You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The ecosystem approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach Show. This show could be the ultimate message from inside yourself. We'll talk about the spiritual discovery that changes what you believe about how life works, and that any limitations and restrictions you have today can be removed. We'll talk to two famous souls who have passed. Albert Einstein, the famous genius who created the theory of relativity, and Eleanor Roosevelt, a transformational first lady, about all the misconceptions and false limitations that we all can overcome. Is your soul talking to you right now? So, Jason, let's get started.
We're going to jump in. We're going to talk about first Albert Einstein,
Yes.
and we were channeling him.
Yes.
And we'll just tell you start telling you what happened. And so Patricia and I are sitting there. I'm frankly laying on her lap, and that's how we channel. And we like it. It's comfortable. And I said, let's start with Albert. And she says, Albert, are you there? And then just say what he said.
He basically said, first off, he said, well, I'm not talking to you. And I said, wait a minute, you already are. And he went, oh. And then he starts messing with me, meaning, well, I could tell you about this and I could tell you about that. And I said, Albert, quit messing with me. Let's get started. Because, Albert, we have so many questions for you and things that we want to know. And you, Albert, get to help us.
I personally think he's flirting with my wife, but I think John Muir was doing that too.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
So I started asking the question. So I said, okay, how did dark energy affect your career? Can you see that now?
Can you see now how dark energy affected your career from where you are now?
Yes, and
where you were,
and what you could have done if you were constantly clearing.
Yes, and at first he was like, well, I don't really want to get into that sort of thing, or I don't want to talk about that sort of thing.
And then he asked to turn off the recorder.
Yes, he
said he didn't want to be recorded.
Yes,
and I said, hey, come on, Albert. The whole purpose of this is so we can get information.
Exactly, and you'll help us because we're going to be moving at a fast clip. And then he said, and I want to. He got weirdly defensive, okay? And he didn't want to be recorded or on record talking about energy without giving it some more thought. And then I said, I went through time and I want you to be forthcoming so you can, you can tell us what's going on. And you think you're going to die because of, or this is a really bad thing. And there's this silence for just a minute. And he goes, I'm already dead, so it doesn't matter. and I mean, you have to think about something. People, souls on the other side, they don't really think about themselves being dead until they realize who they're communicating to on this side.
What I thought was interesting was he was still carrying those those biases.
Yes.
He didn't want the scientific community to
That is
hear
correct.
that he was
Right.
talking about energy.
Yes, or talking to someone who is channeling him.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet he was willing to, as Jason put it, flirt with me. Okay, that's all fine. So, but then I said, okay, Jason, really get in there and start asking him. Let's get moving right along here. And so, Jason, ask him.
So,
Talk to him. Tell the story.
well, he was saying that we were talking about energy, and do you see now that how negative energy affected you? And he acknowledged that. That's when he didn't want to talk to the recorder.
That's
he didn't
right.
want the recorders, And then he told us that he sees now that energy is about emotions. But then I challenged him about that because
Yes.
I had read that he used his imagination to create the theory of relativity. And he literally was able to use his imagination to do what he couldn't do with instruments at that time.
Well, first off, and there weren't instruments to actually do anything like that.
He imagined himself going around the planet on a spaceship, and then
Right. Oh,
I said, "Well, didn't you use your imagination?" And he acknowledged, "Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I did." I said, "Well, that's energy work."
And by the way, he stopped and he said, "Well, I've never understood it to be presented that way." And I said, "That part I understand."
And then he talked about
Yes.
how he thought energy work, like we're doing channeling and things like that.
Right.
He saw it for nonconformists,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
those who embraced Eastern philosophy, drug use, and
by the way, hippies and beatniks, which cracked me up because first off, you don't hear that expression very often, and you could tell that was he came from that era. Let me just say it. He knew about that time in history. So,
Well, and there was one last thing, which is he said that he always knew, since he was a child, since he was a boy, that he had this formula within him.
yes.
It was within him. And I said, Albert, that's energy. that's your essence, your soul.
correct.
And he said, "Oh, huh."
Yes.
It flabbergasted me, and I think this idea that energy is, I've been seeing this more and more. This is my 2 cents, but people are talking about energy. But as long as they don't talk about energy, then they can say things, but they're
Right.
really talking about energy, anyways. So.
Well, and so, but here's one of the things that it surprised me very much. And I don't remember, Jason, you were talking to him about energy.
Well, I was challenging him about that.
Yes.
And almost like he wanted to switch the subject, but I really
That's
appreciate
true.
it. He was giving Patricia the greatest compliment. He was saying, and he was serious. And so just so you know how we do this, she's, if we went to a party, we would do the same thing. If we went to a party, I'd probably hang back and stand somewhere off by myself, and she would go out and be talking to people and saying, "How you doing?" and blah, blah, blah. She'd be the communicator. And then if someone had something really important to say, she'd bring them over to me, and then I'd have a conversation. Then she'd go back out there and
do it all again. But here's the part that's
which is the way we channel.
it is exactly
She
the
goes
way
out
we
and does the
channel.
communication. I sit back and say, "Okay,
Yes.
what's really important here? What do we need to ask?" And all
Yes.
those other things.
Well, and one of the things that he kind of just brought forward, I honestly don't remember if we asked the question or or he just brought it forward. But
He brought it forward. I remember.
we're talking about the AI thing.
No,
Correct. Oh.
no, I'm talking about. He was saying, "I'm talking about you." Hey, you're missing the most important point here.
Oh.
So he was. I was telling him that he was using energy work, and as well, like he was almost uncomfortable with that topic. But then he switched and he said, he thought that Patricia could be the greatest channeler on earth today, and I get that. And he said, that she can see or read and perceive at the highest level, or with a perception that the average channeler can't do. And he knows that there are other people that are doing channeling.
Sure.
And she said she does it without fear. And what he meant by that is not just fear of channeling. It's fear of what it means to say you're doing this channeling, and some people say you're a channeler, and we call ourselves intuitives because we can do it all. We can, we talk to, anyways, we channel, we do medium stuff,
Right.
we do intuitive, all
Exactly.
the different clairvoyance, all the different type of intuitive type skills. But he was saying, she's the best I've ever seen. And he had a perspective. And he was serious that he wasn't flirting with me, and I could I could hear it, and he was giving Patricia this great praise, and I know it's true. It's great for us to hear it from a different perspective like that.
Yeah, I'll agree.
And that without fear is that he could still feel the judgment as a soul
Yes.
after he's dead.
Yes.
About the in other words, the bias or the judgment was so strong within the scientific community.
Exactly.
About what you can and cannot do.
About energy workers themselves.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to change the subject for just one moment, because the thing that I was talking about before Jason was talking, saying the last thing, is that Albert Einstein saw that the greatest AI,
artificial intelligence,
is not a computer. It is not a library of information. It comes from within, and this is really important, everyone. It comes from the essence of who we are, and this is so amazing to be able to understand. Each and every one of us has this within. And when you start using the ecosystem approach, you start to unlock this great, amazing information, intelligence that you have. And by the way, each one of us, we don't have the exact same.
It's the connection between the physical dimension and the non-physical dimension.
Exactly.
And how do you get there? You don't have to pay a fee. You just have to develop your intuition.
That is correct.
And that's by removing negative energy. And that's why
Exactly.
we have such good intuition, because over the last 25 years,
This is what we've been doing. Yes.
and it's been acknowledged.
My apologies
Yes.
for stepping on your toes there.
So let's do the outro, and we'll do the summary of next segment.
All right, so that we can do that because we know how.
Yeah.
All right, so in the next segment, we're going to talk to and channel Eleanor Roosevelt. She has lots to say. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Network. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about, we're going to talk to and channel Eleanor Roosevelt.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, she does have a lot to say.
And last segment, we didn't get to the summary, so we're going to do the summary now.
Yes, and so with that said, Jason, what is the summary of the last segment?
She always has to say that first.
I do.
So
it's good.
this is important, though. This is a biggie. When we channeled Albert Einstein, he admitted that he uses his imagination to create his theories, which later were proven. And he has always known early in his life that he had these formulas within himself. Yeah. He was working with subtle energies. He just didn't realize it. Yeah. He just didn't use the lingo. Yet in his mind, working with subtle energies was for beatniks and hippies. Albert and I agreed to pursue a way to create a bridge
Far out, man.
between the current scientific approach, which is highly biased,
Yes.
and the non-physical dimension that could give humanity access to solutions and approaches that can offer evolution of the world,
Yes.
which is the core objective of Bashar, Abraham, and Seth breath originally.
Yes.
In the conversation with Albert, he pointed clearly that the greatest difficulty to create this bridge are negative emotions
Yes.
that comes from dark energy of competition, jealousy, ego, greed, arrogance that interferes with the bridge between the physical world and the non-physical dimension, and especially by the scientific community in general.
Exactly. So,
So then we started. We took a little break, and by the way, we've been doing this. We can only do it about 15, 20 minutes at a time. It's exhausting, and we get a lot of information.
Yes, we do.
But when we're, she connects first. I can connect after she connects. She kind of paves the way for me, and then we start asking questions. I hear the responses. Sometimes she's trying to interpret what they're saying, and I get the words in a different way.
It's really interesting how we team
it is.
or partner in all of this. And the best part is that we gain information that matters.
Yeah.
And so we got started working with Eleanor Roosevelt. And I did ask her if I could call her Eleanor, and she said, I thought this was so cute, everyone. She said, "Of course you can, dearie." And I was like, okay.
When you're in your 70s, you don't expect another woman to call you a word of affection that's how can you be older than you?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So,
but it was a great term of endearment, in my opinion. So anyway, she basically said, it almost feels like these souls are waiting for us, and that Bashar, Abraham, and Seth, that they actually, and I'm set up this appointment, and I'm talking about the souls of the alliance, excuse me, that matter.
Well, and it almost is like Bashar, Abraham, and Seth are facilitating our conversations.
Yes,
and she referred to that. That's why we were bringing it up.
Yes.
She referred to the fact that, yes, she's willing to talk to you. It's almost like they made the appointment for us.
Exactly.
And
thank
there
you very
she
much.
is.
Yes. So I asked her, actually, Jason asked her.
That's when we asked the same question.
Yes.
Can you see how negative energy, dark energy influenced your life, and what it would have been like if you had a tool to remove the negative energy?
And she jumped in. She almost didn't skip a beat. I'm talking about barely taking a breath, so to speak, which I know she's not breathing, but I am. And she said she wanted to talk about her children first. Well, first off, this really touches my heart, because she knows how she could have stood up to her mother-in-law now, not back then, and had more connection with her children.
So we need to tell them the backstory, which is, she's the wife of the president.
Yes.
And her mother-in-law.
6 children.
It's something like that, yeah.
6 children, I believe.
And I
yes.
believe, and I don't know the exact details, but I can infer this, that her mother-in-law came in and said, "You're going to be the first lady. You don't have time to be a good mother. I'm going to take them over. I'm going to take them and raise them while you're in the White House."
Right.
And it was.
But the bottom line.
That's a hurt that she has. You could feel it.
You can. And the bottom line is that because she was raised as a lady, I'm talking about a lady. In other words, there was actual training to be a lady. And she did this. This was a part of who she was. And she was one of those women who was in society.
Yes.
And so when you're in society, you get trained to be a lady, and ladies do not stand up to their mother-in-law. They do not stand up to forms of authority.
Their husbands.
They don't stand up to their husbands.
They don't talk back.
And not at all. I would have never made it as a lady, everyone. I just want you to know that. Okay, there's that part. But I do understand what she was going through. But the thing that was that hurt her the most was that even when she had time to be a mother, the mother-in-law stepped in, and it was
and stopped
and
it.
she not only stopped it, but she also behind closed doors badmouthed Eleanor for being the first lady. Now,
Well, and some of her reviews and all of that stuff.
exactly. Well, that's
So I asked her, can she see now that those beliefs about women they came from dark energy? And then with great intensity,
she said, "I do now, Jason." and the thing that, and by the way, remember, I'm the one who's channeling, and it came out very loud. But the dogs happened to be sitting next to us, and they both went like this, and they looked at me, that kind of thing. But here's the part that's really, really, really important, was that Eleanor paved the way, and I am so grateful for her, for what was the second half of the beginning of the women's movement, not only for this country, but, well, for much of the world. It's still not where it needs to be.
And because she defined in a different way how the first lady can use power
exactly
and be partner with her husband in this way.
And it was phenomenal.
But she referenced that during Second World War, the women were called to the factories, so that changed it also.
It
It
really
was
helped.
like she was trying to be modest.
Yes,
but
she was.
She started it with what she did as first lady.
That is correct. And if you don't know, for those of you who are a little younger and don't know the history, all the men went off to war, or many of the men went off to war, and there was no one to run the factories and take care of what was needed to for the United States to support the men that were out fighting in the fields. And therefore she was pretty awesome in all of this.
Well, and I think what was really interesting is that she knew Patricia was writing a book about lineages, and this is a lineage for women. And I see that
Mostly.
that the abuse of women and the roles for women have come from a lot of dark energy.
Absolutely.
And not only the cultural lineages, but there's lineages in your family.
You're taught from mother to child,
Daughter.
mother
Yeah.
to daughter. You are taught certain rules. And in my book, I'm going to be getting into those and the clearings that you can do.
And
let
she hasn't
those
written
things
it
go.
yet. We've got
We're getting there.
two books in the hopper, and we're trying to
get them all done.
But
So
these guys keep talking to us, and
Yes.
we can't write.
So
anyways,
one more time. She wanted to express the regret that she has for not being able to teach her children. This is so important, everyone, about service the way no other king or queen,
Yes.
prince or princess had been taught before. This made me go, wow, I never realized that you understood this, Eleanor. And she said that she stood up to talk about the biases and prejudice of today for those who are lower class. And I don't like saying that, lower social economic class.
yes.
It hurts my heart.
Because she came from an established family that had money, and
she
you
did.
either had money or you didn't, and that's the way it was, 100 years ago.
Exactly.
200
But
yeah.
she wanted to teach her children about service, about how to get out into the world and do service for others, the importance of it, because of what it does, not only to someone else's soul and helps them, but what it does to your own.
And she realizes that by yielding to her mother-in-law,
Yes.
that those lessons didn't happen.
Well, and in
In fact, they were just the reverse.
Exactly. So I want to move along, but I need to say, she sees that Michelle Obama saw the value of educating everyone, not just the
Not the elite.
the elite. She saw, and I just want to say thank you so much, not only Eleanor but Michelle, for recognizing that need in the world, because more girls today get to know how to read and be able to gain information that matters.
What she was trying to do inadvertently was say, and she said this later, and we're gonna have to break now in just a minute. But
Yes, we are.
She's gonna say this later that she wanted to be an advocate. She knew she could have been an advocate now
Yes.
for other women of stature, of position,
Yes.
that have a mouthpiece.
Yes.
That she could have gotten them to advocate for human rights and some of her causes that she thought were important.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
so-
With that said, in the next segment, we are going to talk a little bit more to Eleanor and give the summary, which thank you, Eleanor, so much. And we're going to talk about the spiritual discovery that changes how life works. We're going to summarize with big conclusions and new ideas that are here so far. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Network. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about, we're going to continue to talk to, for just a moment, Eleanor Roosevelt. She had so many amazing things to say. And also, we're going to talk about the spiritual discovery that changes how life works.
We promised that in the title, and we want to give it to you in this segment.
Yes.
So.
And we're also going to summarize one of the biggest conclusions and new ideas so far. So, Jason, let's go back and talk to Eleanor for just a moment and see what she has to say.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really important. Jason was talking to her, and Jason, you guys,
she was. I know she'd been talking to Bashar, Abraham, and Seth.
Yes.
And she was saying that it wasn't that they were wrong, when they did this before.
Exactly.
But the information that we're bringing forward is available to us. Okay, that's not quite the right word, but
it's come forward
because of the age of Aquarius.
Yes,
it makes this information viable during this time,
exactly.
And this age of the Aquarius opens the door.
Yes,
and it needs someone to present the information, and we're it. And so we're trying to do that as best we can.
Yes,
and so we were asking Eleanor, so what do you suggest now? And
she said,
she talked about how everybody had dark energy. And she also said, now's the time to use technology, age of Aquarius, to get this information out there.
Yes.
For
us to get this out there. And by the way, you can help us do that.
You can. And she wanted us to emphasize purpose.
Absolutely.
She innately knew her purpose. And that's
did.
when she talked about service. She wanted to infuse her kids with that. And she wasn't able to do that.
And that important.
But that's what the ecosystem approach is.
Yes.
When you remove the negative energy, your purpose is innate to you.
Correct.
Just like Albert said, he always knew he had a formula inside of him.
Right.
That shouldn't be unique. We all have these things that we say, this is who I am, and I need to bring this out to the world.
Exactly.
But it's covered up with dark energy.
Exactly. So I just want to back up and say, Eleanor talked about our purpose and about how it's time for us to get the information out there because everyone needs it, and that Bashar, Abraham, and Seth did not fail, and neither did
Daryl and Esther Hicks and Jane Roberts.
Thank you very much. That wasn't it. The problem is that the information that we have had to be timed for now.
It is timed for now.
And it is timed for now. And she wanted to make sure that they knew they didn't fail, and that she wants us to make sure we don't fail with getting this news out there. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
It's actually segment 2 summary.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. So one of the central themes when we channeled Eleanor Roosevelt was the idea that bias toward women and cultural norms, where it was defined that to be a lady, you would not speak up or challenge a man and always subordinate yourself to men, had its root in dark energy.
Yes, it
That's
does.
not the natural, that's not how humans were designed, and that this imbalance of the sexes is not supposed to be the norm. It creates a conflict in which the dark's purpose is to suppress evolution. So this constant conflict between men and women, women are from Mars, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. He talked about it. He didn't see it as dark energy.
No.
That one famous book, it's
well, there's been several written, but yes.
And we see this as completely dark energy.
Yes.
And now, during the age of Aquarius, the energy is created so this information can be brought forward
and understood
for individual evolution.
Yes.
And she promised more information in the future.
Yes, she did. So, Jason, let's talk about the discovery that we promised, okay?
Yes.
So, I'm handing it over to you, sweetie.
This discovery changes everything about how you've been taught about how life works. And it's the clarity about dark energy and how it permeates everything and everyone in the world today. Even if we see it in one area, which Albert Einstein saw,
yes,
it's easy to overlook it in the 9 other areas that it is. For example, Eleanor brought forward this idea that there's a lineage of men versus women that we've all just kind of taken for granted. Like this is, it maybe there's a women's liberation movement, but who would to say back then that's not right?
Yes. Well, a lot of people said that's not right.
Right.
But the bottom line is now, because this is the age of information, we are going to be able to bring it forward in a different way. And
this age of Aquarius is the opportunity, is the energy,
is absolutely
for change.
Yes.
But we won't have change. People think, okay, well, it's the age of Aquarius, things are going to change and all these things are going to happen.
Correct.
Not really, unless you get rid of the dark energy. And that's what's so critical.
And so understand that one of the things that Eleanor, Albert, John Muir, who were the other ones that we're
going to do Marie Curie.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to do that one.
And there's we're thinking about some others that we'll tell you as we go forward.
The point that I'm trying to make is that every single one that we've talked to, that we've told you about and haven't told you about, they're all talking about this great discovery. If you understand that there is dark energy out there and that there is a way to remove it, so we can, number one, remove it from the essence of who we are and remove it from our physical bodies. The other part is when you remove it, use that processor. But the next part is there's so much negative energy that's destroying this earth that if we don't do something about it, every single one of them said, to me definitely, and to Jason, if you don't do something about it, this world is going to disintegrate. It's going to blow itself up. And that's not acceptable to me, because this is the place where we have the freedom to learn.
Well, here's the thing, though, and I see it very clearly, okay? And this didn't come out enough. It's not that we don't already have a lot of the solutions.
We do.
It's just that the biases, where those biases come from, negative energy. You know, the greed, the jealousies, we've been doing it this way. I don't want to change. We've been doing this way. I don't want to.
Wait a minute. And if I change, that means I'm going to miss out on a few $1 million that other people could use. And those other people could come forward with new ideas and new understanding and positive energy.
So the discovery, in it is as concisely as I can do it, is that if people started removing dark energy from their life, it would be changed. And those changes would change the trajectory of themselves
Yes.
and their close environment and then the world. So if enough people are doing this,
Yes.
it's going to be a big deal.
Yes.
So everybody that we've channeled so far can see the devastation from the dark negative energy.
Yes.
But the bias is deep and profound. And now that they're free of human bodies, they need to be they still need to be prompted, which surprises us because like everyone else who's living, they struggle to see it and they have been brainwashed to believe that it's something else or it's something normal. Like Eleanor was saying that this is what you do to be a lady.
Yes.
That's just all there is to it. It's not, you never thought of it as dark energy or this is wrong because it's dark energy. So we have a whole section of key points. And we're going to do something strange today, different today, because it is the age of Aquarius. So we're going to have a special bonus section, and it's only going to be on our channel, our YouTube channel, Jason and Patricia Rohn, the Ecosystem Approach Show, and it's on YouTube. Go there. And, if you're getting a little nudge, if you're getting a little idea.
Whoa, okay.
Whether it's a feeling, a sensation,
Right.
A voice speaking to you. Maybe you go to bed tonight and you have these dreams. Your soul, your essence is talking to you and saying, wake up.
It's calling to you.
And this is the time. This is the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel, not because it helps us, which who knows, I'm not sure they've changed the algorithm. I'm not sure that really does anymore.
Okay.
But I want you to subscribe because then you'll keep getting the content that we're going to be doing that'll help that little voice, that little part of you that wants to wake up and come forward.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
it's so important.
Yes.
And while you're at it, go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, sign up for our newsletter. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We'll still keep talking to you. You'll be part of the alliance once you sign up with that newsletter. It's so important. So
Okay. And Jason, are you going to do the summary of the
yeah,
segment?
let's do that
All right,
now.
Go right ahead.
We've made a life-changing discovery by speaking with famous souls who have passed and now can see more of what they could have accomplished if they only would have known about the existence of dark energy and also known how to remove it using the ecosystem approach. This realization is taking our breath away, and it creates the possibilities of what could happen here on Earth that are almost too broad for one person to consider. It makes my head hurt if we could get rid of negative energy in all these different places, these biases, these preconceived notions,
Correct.
these ideas. What could happen in the world is unbelievable.
I agree.
And if this gives you a tingle or a feeling inside of you or any type of inner voice
A
communication,
nudge of some kind.
now is the time.
Yes.
You're waking up and being asked to participate in the alliance that will lead to the world in a better direction. Don't wait. Subscribe now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for our newsletter, theecosystemapproach.org.
In the next segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you start on this amazing journey into yourself. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Network. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to show you how to do some clearings to help you start on this amazing journey into yourself. Wow, what a concept in that alone.
Yes.
This is amazing. So, Jason, this has been a very exciting show. Let me just say it that way for definitely for you and I. Lots of great information. Let's tell everyone how to do the clearing.
Okay. So, you can. Your posture is not important. You can be sitting, standing, laying down, walking.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we almost always do something else at the same time.
Yes.
Whether it's shower, she's cooking dinner.
Well, and even
Walking.
when we're walking the dogs, yes, a lot.
We do that a lot. So,
Yes, we do.
and basically, when we say "and to eliminate," which is the part that is to remove.
That's correct.
Just in your mind's eye, in your imagination, which just like Albert Einstein, he doesn't realize that that's using energy work.
That is
in your
correct.
imagination, you gather up whatever we say to eliminate, whether it's veils and illusions, barriers, specific emotions.
And throw it into the processor.
And I know she's putting up a picture of the processor now.
That is correct.
And-
Keep doing that. Keep throwing that negative energy into the processor. When you do that, what happens is, number one, it's the best place for it to be because it goes into the processor, it gets processed, and it comes out the front neutral.
Yes.
And by the way, we all need energy. Energy doesn't die, but we can create neutral energy out of negative energy.
Exactly. And it's very, very powerful.
It really
it's
is.
almost too simple because people take it for granted.
That's true, they
It's
do.
hugely powerful. We clear every day for 25 years. It's made a huge difference.
Yes, it has.
And they could see it on the other side. So,
Yeah, so
it's time for you to do likewise, okay?
Yes, but stay here and do the clearing.
Yeah, you don't have to
go
leave.
to the
Yeah,
other side.
yeah,
yes,
that's right.
To do so. All right. So, Jason, with all of that said,
So here are the words, and if you sign up for our newsletter, there's all this
right there.
listed there as well as a picture of the processor.
there you go.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see how dark energy has already blocked me, interfered with my life, created false beliefs, and hurt me.
You don't need that energy, everyone. Go to the tips of your toes right now. Pick up those veils and illusions of dark energy and throw them in the processor. By the way, I see that negative energy moves easier to the left than it does to the right. So I always put my processor on my left side. Now, sometimes I can't because I don't want to throw it on someone, but the bottom line is, I try my best. It's very, very, very important. So I'm going to do the next one, and I'm going to shorten it up just a little tiny bit. So it goes like this: and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see and acknowledge to myself that dark energy can always be removed and that it has a consciousness that resists being removed, but I can still overcome that resistance. Starting right now, nice and easy. Pick up that negative energy and blow it into the processor.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can see the most difficult energy to remove are lineages that are embedded within our culture or our society, even the norms and beliefs within our family,
Yes.
but they still can be removed.
Yes.
They're often very invisible and people don't see it. And those lineages have the most resistance.
So-
how dare you say I'm not going to be a lady?
Yes, exactly. Okay, nice and easy. Take a breath. These are the barriers. And throw them in that processor. My turn. And to eliminate any hopelessness or overwhelm I have that I can remove, so I can remove this dark energy because it seems like too much. And for me to remember, the key is baby steps, little
Yes.
ones.
Yes.
Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that if I become hopeless or overwhelmed or fed up and I want to quit, those are all dark energies
That are
and I
trying-
can clear them. Yes.
Yes. And-
Because that dark energy doesn't want to go, so it makes you feel, I'm hopeless. Oh, this won't work.
Yes.
Oh, this isn't working for me. Blah, blah,
Exactly.
blah.
It's one of the best ones. So,
Yep.
yes.
So take a breath.
Take a breath and blow it out. Now, one of the other things that we do is we activate life force energy, the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. And it's here on Earth. And that's where we are. We want to use this life force energy to balance ourselves out, especially when negative energy's been removed. We want to put back life force energy and make ourselves better. So it goes like this. Follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions so I can trust that my essence is talking to me, giving me hints and little messages because it wants me to embrace this, the ecosystem approach, by starting to remove my negative energy attached to me. You're going to pull this energy in through the top of your head. Let it go all the way down to the tips of your toes. You're going to ask it to stop there. And then you're also going to ask it to turn around and pull out any negative energy that was uncovered by just talking to the essence of who you are. Pull it up and throw it away.
So one of the things that we've been asking Bashar, Abraham, and Seth to help us with is to go out there in the world, the people that are listening, and since we're on YouTube, it could be anywhere in the world.
Correct.
But to give those who are the most likely to hear it a little nudge, a sign,
yes,
some sort of indication
yes,
that it's time for you.
Yes.
And if you're listening now and you get that nudge, one way or the other, people say, "I want to know exactly how it's going to happen." I don't know, and the truth is that I suspect you'll know if you kind of use your intuition. Most people, the first time they get a nudge,
yes,
they deny it. Oh, that wasn't really that,
Absolutely.
They see a little something that on the billboard or something, or they get a message
that kind of pops at them,
or just an idea in their head and said, "Oh no, that can't be right."
And there's so many ways that it can happen, because for each person, energy accesses that person a little different than the guy next to him.
The way her intuition works is different than the way mine works. It's just that's just the way it is.
Exactly.
I had someone recently who said she was terribly intuitive, very, very gifted, but she would always preface by saying, "Well, I'm not crazy, but..."
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you hear that message, you heard this voice or this message, or you got this nudge, and you interpret it this way, then you think, "Oh, that can't be right. I'm crazy," or "I don't want to acknowledge that because I don't want to feel like I'm crazy." That's dark energy, and clear that away. But if you're getting that nudge, go to our YouTube channel right now, Jason and Patricia Rohn, the ecosystem approach. You'll see also, this is our 367th show.
Nice.
We've got a lot of content there. We started doing this a long time ago, talking about different things you can do with your negative emotions, and how you can just have a better life in practical ways. And now we're going a little more out there, but we just can't help it. It's just, this is the age of Aquarius.
Yes. It just happened. So, yes.
So, we'll be on every other week on Transformation Network at 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern time. And
this is Transformation Network, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Removing dark energy is the key to a better life for you.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.